everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
Hello, I'm Z Garcia. Ho, ho, ho.
I'm Sam Healy. Tired of leg jokes.
Okay, anyhow, today this is a shopping guide for you guys of sorts, whether you're buying games for yourself or maybe someone else sent you this list as a hint as to what to get them.
Hey, look at this link I found.
Wow.
But actually, we do try to pick games for these lists that are available for you to buy. And so this list is, we call them thematic games because some people want to feel like they're doing whatever it is, whether it's fighting a bunch of orcs or, you know, climbing a mountain or whatever. The games that have a very heavy dose of theme to them.
Slapping a goat.
Your legs.
Is slapping a goat a theme people want to do?
Sure.
Do I count as people?
No.
Then no.
Okay. What do you got though?
All right, my first pick is a game. Goat. Brutal. My first pick is a game that you're going to want to play if you want to feel like a detective in a pulp fiction, pulp noir kind of setting, and it's called Deadline. Deadline is a cooperative game where all the players are going to be attempting to put together the pieces of information to solve a case, and you are going to be basically playing cards to find the right combination of items necessary to break into a location or what have you and get that information. But what you are doing in the game, second level, is reading cards from characters that tell you some information and starting to piece together what happened, the whodunit, and why. And it comes with 12 cases right in the box. It's a very engaging game. You really start getting engrossed in the story of the game, but the mechanisms are simple enough that they don't push you out of the story part. It's very easy to get into the game, easy to follow what's going on, but you start discussing among each other, why, who, oh, let's go visit this place now. And when you visit that place, you get new options from there. So there's this branching idea. Really like it. Deadline is a fantastic game. Came out from WizKids. Check it out.
My first one is Betrayal at Baldur's Gate. Now this is based on an older game called Betrayal at House on the Hill, which was like a horror game. This one is still horror. But now they did it in Dungeons & Dragons, so Dungeons & Dragons horror. And in this game, which is really just silly fun, you and a group of people are walking through this village of Dungeons & Dragons and through dungeons, and you're going around and all sorts of things are happening. Some of them are good, most of them are bad, negative things. And at some point during the game, there's going to be what they call a haunt, and possibly there's an 80% chance one of you becomes a traitor at that point.
Ooh.
Yeah, well,
90% chance in your case.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're all working together, but there's 50 different missions, and something's going to happen, from a dragon attacking to a lich bringing ghosts, and every game is going to play differently. It's not it's not a very complicated game. It's fairly simple, but if you really like getting into the theme of this game, it's really chock full of that. That is Betrayal at Baldur's Gate. Not quite like the video game for those of you who like that video game, but it's set in the same universe, and you might even see a few of the same characters.
Cool.
Yep. All right, my first one for this list is if you like role-playing games, fantasy role-playing games, and you just don't have the time to invest in them any longer, Sword and Sorcery is your huckleberry. It's put out by Ares Games, and it truly feels like a role-playing dungeon crawl in a board game format. It has a lot of different things that make it feel so. There's a shadow mechanism that allows the bad guys to stay hidden until they get within line of sight, and then you flip them over, and that tells you what kind of people are going to be coming at you in the dungeon. There's a number of different things. There's a respawning mechanism that I thought was really cool, where you're actually not really knocked out of the game until later on, of course, but it's a great little RPG board game that I found very good. So that is Sword and Sorcery from Ares Games.
I don't know how I would say little, but
it's little compared to some of its
these legs
peers.
are little. That game, not little.
He's really
Always
shoehorning
gotta
this
go
in.
with
All
the legs.
Shoehorning this in. Yay.
My goodness.
All right, my second pick, folks, is Arkham Horror, the living card game. I am a big fan of the Arkham Horror mythos, the Cthulhu, all that jazz. Oh, now I'm thinking of like Cthulhu playing a trumpet or something. That's weird. But I don't tend to like the big board game set in that setting. Arkham Horror, the living card game, gives me the same vibe, gives me some cooperation, or you can play solitaire, but it does so in a manageable time frame and with manageable table space while still telling me a fantastic story. This game manages to tell a great engrossing story with really just cards and a few tokens. And because it's a living card game, you are going to continually be made available to you packs that give you more of that story, or even new story arcs. I'm really enjoying this game. It's quite hot for me right now. Loving it. Very engrossing. That is Arkham Horror, the living card game.
All right, cool. And you play it by yourself mostly, right?
I do, and it's fantastic. It works
mostly
just
because he has no friends.
It's flawlessly convenient, and it catches tears and absorbs them quite well. I've noticed, yeah.
Okay. So you cry about not
Nobody said
friends?
that. Yeah, nobody said.
My next game is Spirit Island. In this game, you are one of several spirits on an island. It's like an island in the middle of wherever with natives, and then these evil colonialists show up and they're starting to fight the natives and take over the island, and you as spirits feel like that's a bad thing, so you just whoop up on these guys, or at least you try to. And so you might be the spirit of water, you might be the spirit of fire, the spirit of nightmares, whatever.
Whoa.
And you're all working together. It's a cooperative game to help the natives fight back against the colonists, or just whoop them up on your own. It's a very difficult game. It's a hard cooperative game. There's a lot going on in it, but the theme is really strong.
Yes.
If you are, for example, the water spirit, then you might overflow rivers, and have them flood into the colonialist camps or whatever. If you're the nightmare, well, then you're giving them
Colonists.
nightmares. Did I say what?
Colonists.
Colonists. That's a very, very different group of people. So anyway, it's a lot of fun. Definitely more of an advanced game, but that is Spirit Island.
All right, my second on this list has been touted by myself and Tom here as Star Wars in a Box. And Star Wars
could be
Rebellion
in a box.
is definitely that. If you have a Star Wars fan in your family and they do not have this game yet, this is probably something that you would want to present them on Christmas Day, because they will be very happy with it. If at all possible, include the expansion in there called Rise of the Empire. It throws in some of the newer stuff from Rogue One, the most recent Star Wars movie that just came out.
Unless you're watching this at Christmas time.
Rogue 2.
But Star Wars Rebellion is absolutely Star Wars in a box, and it is a great 2 to 4 player game. Really shines best at 2 players, but it can be played with 4 if you need it. But it's a great game, has great components, huge thematic flavor as well. Star Wars Rebellion from Fantasy Flight Games.
Ooh, can you top Star Wars?
No. Well, maybe Pandemic Legacy Season 2.
Oh, that's close.
Is Pandemic in a box. When you open it up, you're probably going to get sick. You're going to get runny nose. Keep tissues handy.
That is not what happens. Please
there are some boxes in there that are labeled "Do not open" at the beginning of the campaign. That's because they have to prep your body for assimilation.
In the box too.
So far, he's given 0 useful information.
All right, here's what you need to know about Pandemic Legacy Season 2. It's Season 2, which means it's the sequel to Season 1. It's fantastic. It's a legacy game. I also didn't need to tell you that because it's in the title. That means the game's going to evolve over many plays. And it's pandemic, which means it's cooperative, and you're all working together to save the world. Now, Season 2, really, I would recommend you play this after you've played 1, but many people have played 1. And if you're unsure about, is 2 any good? Could they recapture that magic from the first season? Absolutely. This is quite possibly, it's better than the first season. So I would say
definitely better.
I would say it's maybe better.
It's definitely better.
It's likely all right, but maybe better. There's no goat slapping in it.
I have no idea what he is talking about.
It's a fantastic game. Check it out. Just make sure you play Season 1 already.
Shake a leg. Go get it.
All right. Next one is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Heroes in a Half Shell. This is the new, well, it came out just before Christmas last year from IDW Games, and this game is, well, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in a box. I mean, if we're gonna
Is that the thing?
That's the thing.
All right, man. What else I got?
No, you're done. So anyhow, in this game, it's a one versus many. So one person's playing Shredder, the bad guys, and the other people are playing the four Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and possibly their allies. And you're working together. This game really promotes teamwork. In this game, you're rolling dice, and those dice will tell you what actions you can use, but you can also use actions of the people that you're sitting next to based on how they place their dice. It's short scenarios, so it follows a story. So you're going to go through, it follows a comic book storyline pretty strongly, actually, the new one that's come out recently. And but you don't have to play the whole thing. You could just play one scenario here, one scenario there. Has little cool plastic turtles and the bad guys who fight them, the Foot Ninjas, or Foot Clan.
Shredder.
And Shredder's in the game too. Yeah, I think they call him Can Opener occasionally. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It's one of my favorite games, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
All right, my final one for this category is one that I believe I put on this list last year, and that's because it is my favorite game of all time, and it is also a highly thematic game. It is called Blood Rage from Simon Limited. And since we're going there, this is Viking Wars in a box.
Oh, come on, man.
I mean, we're doing that, but so I don't know. I've never called it that before
If
today.
I had known from the beginning, I could have done that.
Yeah, you could have.
Tentacles in a box.
This is a really cool game where you're wanting to control different parts of the map, but at the same time, you also need to draft the right cards in order to do well as you're performing that area control part of the game. So there's even a mechanism in it where you can actually do very well in the game by simply allowing your people to die gloriously in battle. So it's a really neat, balanced smash up between Euro game mechanisms and Ameritrash game mechanisms, and that is Blood Rage from Simon.
Alrighty, well, that's a bunch of theme in a video. Hopefully these are games that you can find and find it useful. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia, thank you.
And I am Sam Healy.
Check out our other Christmas list. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.